Today is Tuesday, May 19th. Chickens are 14 weeks old today. And it is wet and muddy. I actually brought a folding chair out today to sit in because there's no place dry to sit. And I'm desperately trying to keep them from jumping on me today because their feet are gross at the moment. Yeah, I know. Oh, hi, Nugget. It has just been raining like crazy. All that grass came from our ditch up by the road. It was really getting grown up, so Jay cut it down last night and brought it in here for them. I think they're liking it. There's Mr. Knightley. He's been putting on a show this morning and talking a lot, so hopefully he'll do it while we're out here. I got to see Mr. Knightley and Nugget kind of face off a little yesterday. And Mr. Knightley would crow and Nugget would fluff up his feathers, and then they'd kind of angle at each other for a while and walk away. So that's the beginning signs of maturity. So we actually filled the nesting boxes last night with bedding and put some fake eggs in there, and hopefully it won't be too much longer. It's really still another couple weeks before we'll probably get any eggs, but this is about the earliest it could happen, so we're prepared just in case. The boys right next to each other. I've got a hen right here that's really irritated that I won't let her sit on my lap. Had to clip wings on about 5 chickens in the past week because I'd come out to either find them on top of the fence here going to the yard. They'd be standing there looking at me, or they'd be in the yard, or I actually looked out here one day and saw a chicken on the outside of the gate that way. We had to chase her through the woods to get her back, so that was fun. Between the rain and all their scratching, tons of rocks have been overturned in this yard. All right, for this week's garden tour, it is a little windy. Hopefully it won't start raining. It's a little chilly, so I'm gonna move quicker. Butterfly pea flowers these are the weirdest plants, and so I just really don't know about those. The chia. Sunflowers are starting to take off and get taller. This one's been trampled on by chickens twice, but it's still going. There's sunflower. Broccoli bed. We're going to find out this week if it's actually going to produce heads or go to flower. I'm not 100% sure. Broccoli is always a risk in the spring because while it doesn't mind growing in heat, it doesn't like sudden heat spikes, and we get that here, but that one's has the beginnings, but this week it will either head up or it will go to flower, and if it goes to flower, my chickens will be happy to have lots of greens to eat, and we'll try again in the fall. The kohlrabi and the Yodfa broccoli. I have harvested a few heads of lettuce this week, and I'll basically be harvesting one a day until it's gone. It's really good. Kale is growing. I've taken a couple leaves from this, but this stuff I'm trying to actually just let grow a little bigger. But we had some in a breakfast casserole. Echinacea plants. Personal size watermelons still hanging on. They are putting off some new growth in the middle. Acorn squash have gotten quite a bit bigger this week. And the noodle beans are putting off some new growth. They really struggled, both from the cold, I think, and a little bit of insect pressure, but it's still there. Wasn't sure about this Armenian white because it had so much bug pressure on it, but it's still putting off new growth. Bait alpha cucumber and Chicago pickling. My snap peas going crazy, and I have about 4 peas forming. There's 2 of them, and I think the others are easier to see from the other side. One here, one up here. These shelling peas seem to have a much harder time hanging on to the trellis. I don't know. I don't know why they find it so much more difficult to grab, but they're not as good at it as the snap peas. The cucamelons have started actively growing this week. We've had a lot of rain and a lot of warmer weather, warmer nights for sure, so they're doing well now. These noodle beans have put off quite a bit of new growth this week. Except for that one. I'm not sure if that one's going to make it. And that one's got tons of bug holes, but new growth, so we'll see. All the other melons in the middle here are gone, but I have new ones started. This one, Kajari melon, is doing well. You can see my onions are shorter this week, and that's because I have topped them twice this week. We had some in our breakfast casserole I spoke of, and chickens have had some, but topping them encourages them to grow and keeps the leaves from breaking, because if they fall over and break, the onion will stop growing. Still no bulbs on the beets, but there's the golden beet greens, and then all the red beet greens. My flower section looks pretty pathetic, but the salvia do have new leaves in the middle, so that's good. My zinnias are putting on a lot of new growth. I'm probably most excited about these flowers. This milkweed looks pretty rough, to be honest, but it's growing. Chives, and that's bee balm. Turnip greens are exploding, but still no bulbs underneath yet. Bush beans have put off several new leaves. The zucchini are growing well. Herb pool. Trying to keep the chamomile from overcrowding the calendula. Strawberry pool has all kinds of growth and all kinds of berries forming. Rest of the bush beans. Garlic. Have to back up to get the garlic all the way in the picture. Potatoes. These 2 bags here are purple potatoes. These 2 are yellow potatoes. And these 2 are red potatoes. My purple sweet potatoes don't look great. Oops, there's one. But especially this one in the middle has got new growth coming off of it, so here's hoping. There's the last one. Now for the tomatoes. I have spent just days and days pruning suckers off of these things, and they are growing like bunkers. These are the triple crop. Abe Lincoln. This Amana tomato has reached to the trellis. Dr. Witchies. Bonnie Best. Paul Robeson. Black Beauty. Black Beauty. Look here. You see the leaves on the ground. I did some pruning, and I like to just chop and drop so that it fertilizes the ground as it decomposes. This is a black elephant, and you can see that they've gotten tall enough to tie off this week. Some more blossoms starting there. Another black elephant. This one's got a nice cluster you can see from the other side. Peppers. Nadapeños have started putting off new growth, but the growth is getting much greener, you can see now. Orange bell peppers. You can definitely see there the difference between the new leaves and the old. You can see some buds starting in there too. King of the North bell peppers. Brussels sprouts. These plants are getting really big. My purple lady bok choy. Actually pulled a caterpillar off this yesterday. Fed to my chickens, they were happy. Speaking of going to seed and the sudden changes in temperature, my tatsoi has gone to seed, both of them. That one flowered, but this one's a little farther behind, so you can see how it put up the flower head, which looks a lot like broccoli. So I'm going to be pulling both of these out today. Well, I might pull one out today and one tomorrow and feed them to the chicken. Okra. And that one's actually got a new leaf coming on in there. Okra. I don't think that's going to make it, but I've got another plant to put in there. The last one. My nasturtiums and marigolds are doing really well. Marigolds have a bunch of flowers that are getting ready to open. Here's a red one. There's another yellow marigold popping. Oh, looks like it might end up to be red when it opens. And there's other nasturtiums. My ground cherries looking really good. Except here, you can see all that pile there. I came out to find this one completely cut off at the base. However, there was a new shoot there that whatever cut off the main plant didn't see, so hopefully that part survives. Take a look at the pink celery. It's growing really pretty. Cabbage plants. That one's kind of laying over. This one's so huge. Hopefully it'll head up. I don't know if it'll head up before it gets too warm. Again, if it doesn't work, my chickens will be happy. We're on to the cauliflower now. The amazing cauliflower has had, you can see there, and down here, bugs have really gone after it. I'm not sure why, compared to the purple of Sicily cauliflower, which these plants haven't been bothered at all, so it's just strange how that worked. This place here in the middle where the dog dug up the cauliflower plants and I put new starts in, there's no way we will get any cauliflower out of those plants before it gets too hot, so I've actually got some more pepper plants started that will go in over here. Amish paste tomato, it's reached the trellis. Smaller Amish paste. German lunchbox. And tied up again. Chadwick cherry has been tied up again. They're really growing. Goodness. This is a black cherry tomato. Also been tied up again this week. Just trying to, oh, there it is. There's a bloom there. This is also the black cherry, just a smaller plant. My yellow pear tomato finally got taller than the cabbage. These two have been fighting for the sun there, so the yellow pear is finally tall enough to be above the cabbage leaves, so that's what I was hoping for all the time. Took a while to get there. Another yellow pear. Blueberries tomato. Blueberries tomato. Look at all the new growth on this Brad's Atomic Grape. That was that is a lot bigger than it was last week. I've been trying for 2 weeks to put in older pictures to see the growth, and my program shuts down every time, but I will try really hard to get a picture of the Brad's Atomic from last week. And here's the other Brad's Atomic. Got tied to the trellis this week. My carrots have grown so tall they're hanging over the edge of the bed now in some places. Salad bar garden. We had lunch out of that today. A couple of new additions here. This is a lavender plant that this year will stay in a container until I figure out exactly where I want it to stay, since that will come back every year. This is a cayenne pepper plant. It is also going to stay in a container because I'm going to keep it farther away from the rest of my sweet peppers, just so there's not any cross-pollination. My birthday present and Mother's Day present is a dehydrator. It's supposed to be coming today, and so I'm going to dry my own cayenne pepper powder. Just a few things in here still, the extra okra plants that are growing. Spearmint right there. Strawberry spinach, I hope will do something. These are poppies, beautiful gray poppies. And these are both loofah plants. There's some Brad's Atomic Grape suckers that I cut off and got rooting. And then these are the other peppers I got. This one's a corbaci, and these two are lipstick peppers, and they're both red peppers that are sweet. This is another golden midget plant. This is the one that failed over in the trellis row, so hopefully that one will grow. A little apple tree seedling, if you're curious about keeping tabs on it. And I've got another one starting right there. Not going to help it out of its seed casing. Green stalk of lettuce. Again, this will be part of my lunch today. Carrots are going gangbusters in this, but again, I just keep pulling off these big outer leaves and they keep, ooh, yuck. bird got that one. And they keep producing, so it's kind of a fun way. And then all these little lettuce starts up here have really started to take off. Turn the green stalk around. That one tiny tin tomato is doing really good. Ones on the top don't seem to be as happy. I'm not sure why. Still no growth out of the peanuts. Don't know what to expect out of that. Radishes. You'll notice nothing's here. Actually, there are seeds in this row. This was the watermelon radishes. They went to seed and they did not produce any bulbs. So I don't know why, when all the rest did. We're going to give them one more try in this row here. But I replaced these with white icicle radishes this time. But these plants are a few weeks old now. That's another row of white icicle. Anyway, just trying that succession planting of the radishes and hoping to get some good harvest out of there. I may start trying to fill in some of the places out in the garden where it's kind of bare. I might try filling in some more radishes out there. You can see the 4 little plants in the corners of the square. That's purple lady bok choy. Need to harvest from some of my lettuce out here as well for lunch today, but new rows coming up in between as well. And the spinach finally popped here, that row, and then to see a couple of plants up here, maybe one in the back. Did harvest from this spinach and kale to eat from this week as well. Dill's getting pretty tall. I had to back up to see it. It's almost reaching the top of the railing there. Looks like the cumin is going to start. I don't know if you can see those kind of purple flowers there. It's really pretty. Parsley's enjoyed the rain, gotten quite a bit bigger. Sweet Genovese basil. Dark purple opal. I'm going to need to top that plant to make it bush out, but I just can't make myself do it yet. Thai sweet basil. Same thing with that. Cinnamon basil. And the holy basil has really taken off in growth this week. Raspberry plant's really bushing out. All right, you can actually see plants down here, the Swiss chard and collards, wherever they are. If only they grew as fast as the bindweed, which I pull out daily. But they don't. So there's Swiss chard with the red stems. I believe that's collards there. So the Swiss chard I got is a rainbow mix of colors, so they're not all going to look exactly the same. But yeah, this stuff, you can't kill it, so you just keep pulling it. It's starting to mist, so hopefully I can finish this up before the rain starts in earnest. But still, look at the honeydew. And the new leaves look good, even though the old leaves look really rotten. But there's a couple of those. The pole beans are starting to reach the trellis, so that's exciting. They're all starting to send up their shoots. There's the other honeydew. Ooh, this one's got long shoots, but the wind's pushing them away from the trellis at the moment. I'll fix those later. The sugar baby bush pumpkin is, not pumpkin, watermelon is putting off new leaves, so that's good. That is a sugar pie pumpkin. And that is a sugar pie pumpkin. More pole beans. Again, reaching the trellis, grabbing on. Gourd plants. Pole beans. There's spaghetti squash there. There. And there. Get that blue-hilled bean climbing that pole. And those are reaching up. Show you my grass pulling. Seriously, you'll see these little things above the ground, and then you pull it out, and all that roots down there. It won't die. Right. Squash and pumpkin. The two Jack B. Little that I put out here are growing well. The one I planted out by the trees for an experiment is already gone. It was eaten. Well, thanks again for watching this week and seeing the growth that we're experiencing here. Man, the rain has really made it take off. So it's been fun to watch. It's been soggy to walk around in, but it's been fun to watch this week and see how much it's grown.